All right. Okay. So it looks like it's working. Everything seems to be fine. I'm also streaming to YouTube at the same time that I'm streaming here on Twitch. So, yeah, this should be an interesting experiment. Let's have a look. So first things first, what are we doing today? We are making a set of armor, pretty much like the one that you see to the to this side here, to your left. It's actually my right, but to your left, that's what we'll be making. It's going to be a long and very interesting process, but I've done a little bit of work in the off time out of some of the more low quality materials to try and make sure that I can make a good go of this. It's going to be a learning experience, and yeah, I'm excited for us to do all this together. So first things first, I'm just going to double check that everything's working on both services, which certainly appears to be the case. All right. Okay, as near as I can tell, it's working on YouTube as well. Okay, cool. And hopefully it should be archiving it on YouTube as well, so that we can actually, get a good recorded version of this for people to see later. Well, time to get started. So, I suppose I should take this time to say that there are some tools that you are absolutely going to need. I've kind of oscillated between using barge cement, which you can see I've used here on this piece. Barge cement on this piece here. And hot glue, which I've used on some of the other pieces. Let me grab one of those other pieces for you real quick. This piece here, where I've used hot glue. Now I've tried both ways, and I honestly think that I prefer hot glue to be used over barge cement. It's easier to work with, it's a lot less toxic, it doesn't make the place stink to high heaven, and, it sets more quickly, which is nice. So in this particular case, this piece actually goes, you'll just be able to see it, it goes right here in sets, there with the chest portion that goes over top of it. But this is of the low-quality material, and I went out and I purchased a bunch of the low-quality materials so that I could test this before I actually started trying to make it live here. And so yeah. So anyway, that's going to be important. Also important is going to be a box cutter or razor knife of some fashion. Additionally, some other things that you may find useful are going to be extra blades for the razor knife. Very, very important to have extra blades for that razor knife. Another thing that's going to be important to have for this whole process: Sharpie markers, a straight-edged ruler for making the straight cuts, and a pattern. So, as you can see to the side here, to your left, I have a depiction of Mega Man, and this is the depiction that I'm going to be using. There are a lot of different people who've attempted. Oh, sorry, I forgot my phone's still on. But there are a lot of people who've made or tried to make, succeeded in making a costume version of Mega Man. These have all been, I think the kind way to say it is they've all been a little silly, a little cartoony. I want something that's more realistic, that's more like what Mega Man would be like if Mega Man actually ever got, made. he is a robot after all, so he would certainly have to be made. So that's why I've gone with this design over here, because it kind of has the best sort of everything. Now, I must admit, I'm a little leery about this whole process. I'm actually very much, shall we say, out of my depth. This is not my normal thing. Normally, it's Android games, it's reviews, it's technology stuff. Like, for example, next week I'll be down at GameStop Expo in Las Vegas, and that will be very, very fun. But you know what? It's a learning experience. Let's have fun together. So this is what we're using as the base: the anti-fatigue foam mats. These are a personal favorite of many costumers and people who make armor like this. People such as Evil Ted Smith on YouTube and Evil FX here on Twitch as well. So yeah, these are pretty good. If you get them on sale, you can pick them up for about $2 per sheet inside, so about $8 if you can find them on sale. Normally, they're closer to about $10 at Harbor Freight. And yeah, well worth every penny. Now, like I said, these earlier ones that are on the sort of the colored foam, those ones are less. They're of a slightly. It's strange of me to call anything that didn't come from Harbor Freight lower quality, frankly. But they're... I'll show you a comparison after I pull these things out. We'll only be using them basically, one at a time. And let's just toss that over there, don't need it. And I'll take the second pad for us to start on first. Now, in my experience doing the cuts and everything, you want to be sure to put your markings on the smooth side rather than on the textured side, and cuts are best made when done on the textured side as well. Oh, duh, my heat gun. So, for example, when we are taking these things, and let me show you. Well, yeah, these are all the case. Just a second. I'm going to grab one of these. Here we go. So, when we've got pieces like this, we've gone ahead. Hey, Kane. We've gone ahead and we've curved these by heat treating them. And then we, naturally glue them together. So, for example, in this particular instance, this piece goes here, as you can see, and this piece goes over top on that seam and lines up back here and rides, pretty high on the chest. But, sorry, I'm not doing a very overly good demonstration. But that's what's going on right here. And with regards to this. This was all done with a heat gun. Now, a dryer, like a hair dryer, doesn't put out enough heat to make these things bend the way that you want. So you do need a heat gun. I had one that I had purchased from the Home Depot. It will be, let's see, if I recall properly, it was with the painting stuff, because heat guns are often used as paint strippers. Another thing that we'll need much later on in the process is Plastidip. Now, some people like using this because it looks really good for Mass Effect armor, because of the color scheme. I don't need that color scheme. I need a completely different color scheme. So when we have this armor, and in Mega Man's case, when we're talking about things like Mass Effect, a texture is very desirable on the armor. They do this sort of alternating pattern of texture and then no texture to sort of give the whole, the whole costume some depth. In our case, we'll be using almost entirely smooth side because the smooth side is what actually gives that sort of metallic thing. But still, this has very fine texture on it. So when it comes time to paint, we're not just going to spray paint on this, we're going to spray something called Plastidip on it, which is a sort of plastic polymer thing that lays down an easily paintable and solid-looking sheen, and then the paint will go on top of it. Now, primarily, our colors are going to be black, gray, and blue. However, the plan is to actually wear lycra or spandex or whatever it is, but to wear Under Armour at the very bottom to serve as a black base, and then to do the pieces over top of it and attach them with snaps. But again, this is a learning process, so it may very well be that we wind up discovering that just won't work. But let's get to it. Now, the first thing we'll need to do is we'll need to take our pattern and trace it out on here. So this will actually be kind of fun because I can show you where I got some of my ideas. Now, there are a lot of things that are in common between Mega Man and this sort of realistic Mega Man design and the here we go, and the Mass Effect armor that people have seen. So much so that Mass Effect armor is pretty easy to get your hands on the patterns. So what I've done is I've actually taken the Mass Effect armor as a base and modified it so that it works for this. Now, some things naturally needed to be changed. For example, the back part didn't work, properly. It didn't work effectively. It didn't look anything like what we needed, so had to make changes to that. Additionally, there are modest changes here and there, but this served as a fantastic basis. So I will be sure to put a link up in the description to the YouTube video, because this will be cataloged, because I'm streaming to both Twitch and YouTube at the same time. But I got this N7 prop codex here, and just to go through it real quick. Basically, what you'll do is you'll take your measuring tape, your cloth measuring tape, your flexible measuring tape, whatever it's called. I've always called it tailor's tape because tailors use them, and you will measure according to the sizing provided. For example, it indicates measure from here to here, measure from there to there, measure blah 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 blah, and you will record those measurements. And then, and here is where it certainly gets important, you will need to add 11% to that to make this pattern fit you. So, for example, on the bicep, I've got very spindly arms. The measurement of height, the measurement of length on my bicep, or we'll go for a gauntlet on my forearm. The measurement on the height is 10 inches. That's here to here on me, and then around right here, which is what it indicates here, it's actually 10.5 inches. So when time came, I added 11%, giving me 11 and 11.75. I rounded up so that I'd have a little bit of wiggle room. Tight tolerances were not especially important in my design because I intend, of course, to have the snaps on the inside so that it'll snap onto the Under Armour, base layer itself, so that won't be a problem. And then what we've done is we've added that. Now the next part's a little hard to explain, but I took the pages of the various PDFs, and I put them into Photoshop. And in Photoshop, I also did it in GIMP as well. It can be done in either. And in Photoshop, or in GIMP, I took the pattern designs and I scaled them so that they had the size of the measurements that I took. Inside of the instruction manual for this, and again, this is all the instructions for the Mass Effect armor. This is not yet to where I was doing and what I was doing. It goes ahead and it scales them to that. You then put it into the printer templates, which will basically make the template print off a bull, if that's even a word, in a letter or legal sized piece of paper, depending upon whether you're doing letter or legal, and then you print them off. Now, here are some of the, you probably can't see it, but I've made some edits to the design. This is an overlook at the design. Like, for example, there's this long spinal portion. I've actually taken care of that spinal portion. That's not going to happen. Up here, there are, empty areas where the armor doesn't cover. Instead, I've added items to go there. I've gotten rid of this whole bit on the chest and just focused on the top segments. So yeah. So anyway, what we're going to do is we are going to carry on. We're going to do probably the simplest of the pieces today, and that is the gauntlet piece. The gauntlet will go on the left hand, and the blaster will go on the right. Now, I have to admit that I am really... Oh, and I've got this much thinner craft foam that I'll be using for bas-relief details. So, for example, if you look to Mega Man over here, you'll notice that in areas he has these very slight details going on. Like, for example, a slightly raised portion. Now, I could layer on layer, each piece, but I'll just demonstrate quickly how big that gets. Here we've got, one layer. Hey, Cool Kevin, how's it going? Welcome to the stream, buddy. We've got one layer right here, and I'll just show you, its thickness here. And then if we did every bit of bas-relief detail, there are some places where we need 2 or 3 bits, we'd be getting some pretty darn beefy looking, some pretty big, thick stuff. And that's not what I want. What I'm really going for in this, again, is that I am going for a type of armor that Mega Man would wear, or that Mega Man would have, if Mega Man were a little bit closer to reality. And again, that's the type of design that's being captured by the image over here. And that, again, is what we are actually trying to build. So I'll be building the gauntlet for the offhand. Now, I've decided in this particular instance, we'll be redoing basically this right here, and we'll be doing it on this sheet. So, let's get to it, shall we? We'll go ahead and put the instructions away over here, and grab here. Let me just root through for a second. Okay, nope. These are all back portion pieces, and you can see where I've taped on and added a whole additional layer there. Okay, you guys can go over here. All right, done. Ba-dum. Bum 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 ba-dum. Yes, I am a lyrical genius. And we've got these 2 slightly smaller bits. So, notice how in this version, in the practice version, there were a couple of things that I learned that were very important. And this is kind of why you have to take your time. You have to not get upset or frustrated. You just have to be prepared. Patience. Patience above all else. So there are some areas where the cut is a little rough, and that's because after forming, after bending, I had to cut this thing a little bit farther down so that I could properly move my elbow. Before, I could go about here because the padding would get in the way. But now I can go this way and it doesn't bother me much. Now, the pattern calls for stopping, for stopping there-ish. Instead, I am actually going to fill out this area and cut it in full, slightly angled down. And this again is where we're getting to the fact that we're not doing Mass Effect armor. What we're doing is Mega Man armor. We're just using the Mass Effect armor as a template for two reasons. Number one, I am not clever like this. I mean, like some of these people are. I'm not artistic. I'm just trying to do the best I can by guessing by golly. And two, we're going to make that edit because I don't like this. I don't like this two-band stuff. I want a full arm cuff. Now, again, other things that I learned from this practice thing that are important are that it wasn't quite enough. You'll notice that I put this extra slice right in there. So I know that I've got to increase the size of these by about yay and yay on either side. And then angle them down and put them together. I also need to increase. Actually, this bit down here, that bit down there is just about right. If you'll see, it's I did make it ever so slightly larger, but actually no, that's dead on. Yeah, I made it exactly the size that the pattern called for. And when I tried it out, when I actually put it together, I glued it like that so that I could move my hand in and out. But sadly, I've got pretty big thumbs. It's all that video game playing that I do. So I made it bigger. Now, in the case where we're talking about about doing this, I would instead make it the proper size according to the design, and I would actually put some put some elastic there, so that I can put it in, hold it somewhat tight, and be fine. Now, of course, this will be somewhat of a moot point due to the fact that we're going to have clips to clip in, but I already know how much wider I need to make this back part, and that I can leave this basically as is, and it will be fine. Although I will still want to put elastic here so that I can put my hand through, and it will probably wind up being basically a pretty tight fit about halfway, so I'll have to leave that sort of glued from here to here and then open so that I can fit it in, fit it through, get my hand out, and the elastic to close it down up here. So this is, again, one of the reasons why I did the practice, to learn about it and to do more. Hey, Zine! How's it going? Welcome to the stream. We're doing the Mega Man costume now. And this is why I did a practice build, because without a practice build, I basically wouldn't have learned any of this and I'd be going in blind. So, practice build. It's important. So yeah, now we can actually get to putting this stuff together, and I should get us some music to listen to. Nothing big, nothing crazy, but just a little something so that the... Thanks, Zine, I'm glad. Now let's see, I'm just going to pull us up, some, let's see... There we go. And let's just pull up some NCS. Not to be confused with NCIS. Let's go, where's house? Yep. I don't mind the house mix.
The name your price to policy.
But, interesting. Those Progressive commercials get creepier and creepier every single day. Okay. I hope that that's giving a little bit of sound. Not too much, not too little. So, all right. No copyright sounds. Thank you very much for the music. Okay, let's do this. Let's do this thing! Woo! Alright. So first off, again, just sort of recapping to anybody who's lurking or anybody who's new, we've got some lessons that I picked up from my previous attempts, and we're going to put those into practice. Okay. I'm going to err on the side of caution and make this. Now I know that on this side, because I made the additional cuts. Let's see. Oh nope, it's on this side that I can actually cut this in sooner. So I've got the originals of these files scaled to me, but I'm just going to take some lessons and save myself some time by cutting this in. Like so. Cutting it a little deeper. And that sounds about right. Actually, let's make that line a little bit more angled. And then I'm just going to make a little mark to let myself know that I need to come in. When I'm cutting, I need to come into it. You know, so this would be 90-degree angle doing the cut. I need to come in about 45 degrees. So we'll just put 45-degree undercut. And that way I know. And now let me just make that change to the pattern, and then we will start putting these patterns onto the foam itself. I hope that my unsurety is not really translating onto the thing. I hope I sound like perfectly confident. But I am not. I'm really worried that I'm gonna botch this. And the pressure's on because I'm doing it, you know, live. Man, this gives you a lot more respect for the people who do this all the time. Now I've got my whetstone over in the kitchen soaking in water, because instead of putting a new one... Okay, cool. I welcome the lurking. And as much as you want to talk, feel free. It takes my mind off of how, you know, nerve-wracking this is, because I'm doing it live. We'll do it live! But yeah, instead of putting on a new one of these blades every 5 minutes, because this stuff dulls these things quickly, I've got a whetstone that I run it on to get it there. Hi, Neon Kitty. Now, Neon Kitty, you've been here before, haven't you? If so, welcome back. If not, then welcome for the first time. So, let's do that. Alright, so my practice run has taught me some important lessons about how this thing needs to be made. So we'll start. First blood. Oh. Okay. Now, yes, I did learn that I needed to go a little bit beyond the pattern. Yeah, it's been a while. Okay, good. I thought so. So welcome back, Neon Kitty. Welcome back. Let me know if any of the volumes are too much on any specific thing. So I've already covered a little bit of the process. Oh, dang. Well, it's a good thing that's not going to show after we plastidip it. So now let's see, that's perfect for here. So that's where we want to be there. And let's get our thing here. And so I've made modifications from the things that I've learned to this particular design. So okay, cool. And I'll use this little bit of something and wipe off the metal. Yeah, it had a little bit of marker on it. Everything sounds fine. Good. Hey, Sir JJ, welcome. Well, if you want to see a preview, this is a piece that I did for the left hand, for the offhand, for the hand that's hidden. Yep, back there. Yeah, hard to be coordinated. And this is what it looks like. This is based off of the Mass Effect design. But important things I learned was, one, this angle needed to be changed. It used to be much wider, much bigger, but I've changed that to accommodate for my forearms. And I've decided that I want to have this be a full gauntlet instead of this sort of, open on the underside stuff. So we're changing that, although I do really like these as a bas relief, so I'm considering keeping them. I'm going to cut them just in case, and we'll see how I feel when we actually get to that part. But now's the point in time where true customization is going to happen. But yeah, this is a preview of what it'll look like, shaped with a heat gun. So all right. Thanks, White Boy Kev. It's early yet. It's very early yet. But come around, chill, relax, feel free to talk as much as you want, ask me questions. I'm actually a little bit nervous because this is not something I've done on, not something I've done live before. Something I've really taken my time on my own to do. So yeah, definitely more than a little bit nervous, I think is the best way for me to describe myself. And so any type of talking to you guys is going to do a lot in the way of helping to mitigate that. So if you want to talk, cool. If you want to lurk, that's cool too. Okay, Neon Kitty, we'll see you when you get back. Hopefully Neon Kitty's going to enlist reinforcements. Well, White Boy Kev, I'm planning on being finished by Halloween. Now, unlike some people, I'm not making this for a convention or anything like that, but merely just for my personal edification is the word. But basically what it amounts to is I'm sick of seeing poorly done Mega Man. I'm sick of seeing Mega Man done in all these weird and, cartoony ways. Mega Man's a serious hero. He deserves a serious class. Reinforcement kitties. Okay. So one thing that I'll do is I do like the lines that it had. And that's actually, I'll show you, that's kind of a fun tactic to get that to show up. Right, but where's my pencil? Here we go. A little bit of pencil marking here, just lightly, because I don't need a lot. But just a little suggestion. And then here it is. Whoop. Now I've actually, hang on, I seem to have misplaced the marker that I use for this. I use something a little bit different for this. here we go. I use a fine tip tip marker for this because I don't want to confuse it with the other bits. And this cuts down on that because it leaves just this fine line that that doesn't look like the... You know that moment when you are focusing really a lot on something, and then the microphone from that's hanging off of your head, out of the corner of your eye, you perceive it, and you think it's a spider, and you just about freak the heck out? Yeah, that was almost me just a second ago. Now, for whatever reason, the fine point nub works best when you're just kind of dancing it across, you know? Back and forth a couple of times. There we go. I think this could be dying, though. Okay, now, this is where those things go. Gosh, here we go. This is where we'll put the... Oh. Hang on. This is where we'll put where we'll line up this. Just like that. And then this piece on top of it, just like that. But I've actually... that's not where I meant to make the things. Gosh. See how flustered I am, people? Okay. Can you feel the attraction? I wonder if you can feel the attraction. Can you feel it between us? Thanks, Zine. Thank you very much. I appreciate the reassurance. Let's do it in pen. I don't care about this because it'll be, you know, off once I cut it. So, which is honestly the opinion I should have had earlier. And I'm going to do this in pen because it looks like this pen is in good form today. There we go. Oh no. I think you are seriously underestimating your own abilities. I am nothing special. I really am not. But here I am, here we are, we're gonna have a good time. Looks a little bit like an A-wing, just a bit. Okay, enough of that nonsense. Ah, well, if he does it with me, we'd have to have a Mega Man and we'd have to have a Zero. We would have to have Mega Men, not Mega Mans. So, you'll notice that on the practice piece, you might be wondering about the red lines and the black lines. So the red lines are where you actually make a scoring mark. So, if I just take this, and here we go, and I'll take this here, and I'll just make a small scoring mark. Okay? So I'm not even sure if you can see that on the stream, but it's a cut. It's a cut right there. I'll actually make it a little bit deep, another one a little bit deeper, so that it's easier to see. Because first I had it just this little itty-bitty tip. and then we'll do that. And then, of course, you know, that gets into full-on cutting. But with a little bit more, it's now a cut that's halfway through. And what these... oh, nope. Oh. Oh, that's where we're getting into trouble. Sorry, I need to change out this blade real quick. Just a second. Oh, what I'm talking about. It's time to sharpen. Okay, so instead of replacing the blade, I've got a whetstone that I've wetted. Yes, and so we'll take this. We'll run it back and forth along the whetstone. Get it nice and sharp. Even pressure. Still nobody in the YouTube chatting. At least not that I can see. I decided I'd give it a shot and stream to both YouTube and Twitch at the same time. Thought it might be fun. And you know what, it probably is fun. But at the very least, I can't see anything happening on YouTube. But if it does wind up going through, and my problem is I just can't see the chat on YouTube, or that nobody's there, it's okay, because there will be some really good quality archiving on YouTube, which will be nice. Okay, cool. Let's go ahead and... Perfect. Yes, Sir JJ, they can... Oh. They can see you. And, you know, if it is, you know, happening on YouTube, they'll be able to see you. So, I think 4 viewer hype is where we're at right now, at least on there. So, it's a lot sharper now, but back to what I was talking about. We got the thing, and let's do... Yeah, much better. Much better. So now I've snipped about halfway through it. And now that I've got that, I'm going to grab my... Ooh, that's a good question. No, I'm not going to show you that just yet. We'll save that for a little bit. But when I take the heat gun and I run the heat gun over this thing, it'll actually widen these, because you'll notice that if you look at this from the side, the cuts aren't especially deep in here. It's just that when it gets heated up, it'll separate, and it'll expand there a little bit, and it'll give it the sort of appearance of that. As a matter of fact, I've seen somebody do this with a bunch of very shallow cuts along a chest plate piece, sort of angled, and it actually made it look like the thing was made of scales, which was really, really cool. I won't lie, I was more than a little bit jealous of his skills. But it was a tactic I was thrilled to pick up from his videos. Check the YouTube chat, Kappa. Thanks, Zine. Thanks. I'm looking at it, and there's nobody in there, at least not that I can see. And I'm getting conflicting reports because, on the one hand, it tells me that I'm live, right here. It says Maction is streaming now, bringing Mega Man to life, streaming now. But at the same time, it's telling me nothing's going on. Nope, it's working. It's absolutely working. Oh, hey, there we go. Hey, Zine, thanks. Hey, Kappa. How are you, Mac? Well, that's annoying. So the broadcast, so the chat isn't showing up in the broadcast settings. But okay, so it's live. That's cool. That's very, very cool. Thanks, Zine. And I was concerned that it wasn't working at all. So, awesome. Thank you for giving me confidence once again, Zine. Okay. You see, I'm not especially good at some of this stuff. But, oh well, that's how it goes. Zine for Mod 2015. I do love the PogChamp emote, I won't lie. And you know what? This is real nice because it does show that I can pull off streaming to both at the same time, which is nice. So, you know, next week's going to be really fun, guys. We're going to have that Man Cave TV, and we will have just come back from, what's it called? It's from GameStop Expo. And, well, we're going to have footage, live footage from the gaming convention. It'll be fun. Well, we won't have live footage, because it's not like I can stream live from there. I would need... man, like act of God to get live streaming from, you know, from a convention. Okay. So, I think I've said it before, but I'll say it again. This foam dulls your blades really, really, really fast. A little bit more behind this one. Okay. That's good to know. Now, I've got one of these self-healing mats, but, and it seems to do alright. Not the best, but, you know. Oh, that one was smooth as butter. Yeah? Oh, cool. So let's see. That's about 30 seconds or so. So yeah, we're going to go to that GameStop Expo. It's going to be lots and lots of fun. Here we go, and now I'll just cut this last little bit freehand. Keeping the blade perpendicular to the cutting surface. One more pass. You see, there's this sort of balance, at least in the self-healing stuff. You don't want to push too hard, or else you'll scar the mat. Like, I've got tons of scars on this mat. But if you don't do it hard enough, you're going to have to come back for a second cut, which you might mess up the smoothness of the cut. But there is our first cut, our first item of the day. This one right here. We'll of course have it textured side in, because Mega Man's all about these like metal plates. And before we do that, we'll have to get a good solid surface for it to adhere to with the open seam. Glad that you asked, Design. Let me actually got it right here. EVA foam is what it's called. I am using specifically HFT anti-fatigue foam mats. These are from Harbor Freight. But EVA is what it's called. And I'm glad that you asked what type of mat instead of what type of foam. Otherwise, I would have been like, really, Zine? You trolling today? Are you trolling, Zine? I'm having a little bit of trouble with the whole setup, as I'm sure that you can imagine. Oh man, I could have really, made this more efficient. But oh wow, Mac, you sucked that up. Hang on, gotta fix that. Okay. Wow. Gosh, did you see that? I started out good right here, and then I just drifted sideways, and it's noticeable. It would have been very noticeable, so gotta change that. Oh, hey Triple L, I didn't notice you there at YouTube. Thanks for saying hi on YouTube, man. Are you going to be chatting primarily from YouTube, from the YouTube chat today, or from the Twitch chat? Yeah, I don't like doing second passes if I can help it. One of these days, I think I'll probably rig it up so that I've got both chats, both YouTube chat and Twitch chat, on my thing at the same time. Maybe I can find something that will combine the two. You know what I mean? Also, may I ask what type of knife blade? It's just a box cutter? Yeah, I'm actually using the DeWalt Quick Point 18 millimeter blades. It has it's large enough that it feels good in my hand, and when I'm holding it's good. I do also have a X-Acto, knife, the little type with the points for any sort of small work that needs to be made. Since taking a break... Oh, okay, YouTube. Cool, Triple L. Well then, I think you will be kind of the only one on YouTube, but it's totally cool. I appreciate you coming around on YouTube to watch. But yeah, the DeWalt. And it's alright. It's alright. Ba-da-da, 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 ba-da-da-da-da. Okay. And then we get here and we just kind of bend, we just kind of move our wrist, and the blade follows along behind because it's got a little bit of flexiness, and so we just kind of do that, and it follows along and makes some really nice cuts, frankly. Okay, still hung up right there. I'll just peel it off, and it's all right. It's not the best in the world, but I'll probably use a I'll probably use it. Ooh, That's interesting. Hang on. Going to just shave that down a little. Yeah, that'll do. That'll do. So there we go. 2 of 3 pieces. Yeah, that treater. Waldo. Hey, Dominic! How's it going? Let's see. Let's go ahead and set these aside. So, now, Dominic, if you also have a Twitch thing. Oh, hey, DW. I didn't even notice that was you. It was the blue. But hey, DW, welcome. Welcome. I think it's time for another round of sharpening. Caesar. Thanks, Caesar. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. I'm glad that you like my reviews and tutorials. Let's keep this sharp. This foam really dulls it quick. Waiting for Diablo Season 4 to start. Cool, cool. That's very cool, Drunken Wolf. So, in case those of you on YouTube don't know, I'm streaming simultaneously to Twitch and YouTube. It was a little tough for me to figure out how to kind of get the chats to work together, and most of the elegant solutions that I attempted just didn't work at all, so I've settled for just putting the Twitch chat up, which behaves a lot better than the YouTube chat for capturing and restreaming. There's a certain delay. Is this Mega Man from the cancelled Metroid Prime Mega Man? Really? There was a Mega Man for the Metroid Prime? I did not know that. But I'll answer your question in a second. But yeah, so I've settled for just running that. So, okay. Let's put that back over here. Let's see. I have quite the amount of viewers here. Oh, do I? I mean, what are we up to, man? Are we up? What's our viewer hype? I'm showing 5 on Twitch, and it looks like 3 and 4 on YouTube. Welcome all you 4 on YouTube who are watching. Oh, give me just a moment. Just 2 seconds. I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. So, let's see, what did I miss? Let's see. The people who made Metroid Prime would have made a Mega Man game that was like Metroid Prime. It's cancelled because Capcom hates money. The game's name would have been Maverick Hunter. Huh, okay. Let's see. 9 viewers, Max getting famous. Whoop whoop! I got 3 when it came, and then down pretty much after I beat the game. Offering a Heroes of the Storm mount if you hit level 70 in Season 4. Also, wanted to play it again. Heroes of the Storm. Need to reinstall that. Okay, so this version of Mega Man is actually from, it's a guy drew it. It was sort of his concept art for both Mega Man and Zero. Actually, where's my... Hang on. I've got it printed out. I've got it printed out, the thing. So, so it's Mega Man, of course, over here, and Zero over here, and it had like a Sigma background and so on. But yeah. So that's where it came from. Somebody's just concept, sort of concept art. So yeah. Let's do this. Now. Again, this is, for those of you who are new, this is the thing that I've modified. This is the original design, as it comes. The entire set of armor is being modified off of a base of the Mass Effect armor, because it has a lot of commonalities with this design of Mega Man and the Mass Effect armor. They've got a lot of similarities. Certain changes I've been making, and those things that I know that I'm changing, I've made practice pieces out of lower quality foam, and to see what I need to change. So, for example, this one, I knew that I needed to extend these sides, bring in this, trim that, and I didn't want this open part here. So instead, what I've done is I've made these tapered straight down so that they'll make a solid and fair, sort of cone all the way down that goes down my arm and fits right. Now I could have just left the entire inside empty and open, and then just had clips to my base layer, which is going to be, yes, that's correct. It is Mega Man X, not classic Mega Man. And so I could have put clips to the base level and then just clipped it in, but I didn't want to have this, I didn't want to have that. I just didn't think that it would look the way I want. So we're gonna do this, and I'm buying extras of these in case I mess up, because it's gonna happen. It's already happened right over here. I had a little mishap, if you will. So Maverick Hunter is a darker entry in the Mega Man X series. Interesting. I would have loved to have seen that. I would love to have seen a darker, sort of Prime style version of Mega Man. Double rainbow all the way across the sky. Yeah, yeah, it's so intense. Sorry. When I hear stuff like that, I can't unhear it. And now, neither can you. Welcome back, Zine. Not much. I went and took care of something. Went AFK, or AFC as the case is, for a minute or so. Everybody, things went downhill here pretty soon after I left. Drunken Wolf was responsible for endangerment and public drunkenness, but, we expected that, of course. But it's hard. It's hard in this day and age for a wolf to maintain his drinking. A recap for the YouTubes. I have done all these. Would have loved it. Never played Metroid Prime, but from saw it looks cool. Dominic's right there with you. I have actually never been charged with anything, but I'm sure that if we're talking about things that you've never been charged for, but that you've done, I'm sure that reckless driving is could be one of them. I'm also sure that well, I don't know as I've ever done anything that could be considered. Oh, that's these. I was like, where's my phone? And is it ringing at me? And I found my phone, and no, it is not ringing at me. So let's see here. Oh! Oh, really? Okay, cool, Dominic. Higher. Alright, we've cut all the straight bits. Yeah. And so thanks to everybody who's watching on... thanks to everybody who's on YouTube, and thanks to everybody who's on Twitch watching. It's fun to have so many of you around. If you'd like to hear a fun little story, back in the day there was Governor Sherman, who ran for the presidency against Herbert Hoover, or was it Herbert Hoover? I think it was Herbert Hoover. Yeah, and lost. And during his time on the campaign trail, he actually did a tour of the prisons to speak with the wardens and find out what was going on, what needed to be improved, and what he could improve in his administration when he won. Well, when he was speaking with the warden, the warden said, would you mind giving an address, saying a few words for the inmates? And he said, YouTube is better than Twitch because of the lemon emote. That is compelling evidence. Well, so he said, would you give say a few words to the inmates? And he said, sure, I'd be happy to. Now, normally I start my comments with ladies and gentlemen. Obviously, I can't do this here, naturally, because there were only men at. Oh, sorry. He was at Sing Sing prison in New York. So, and he says, now normally I start my remarks with ladies and gentlemen, but obviously that won't work here. So I'll just say, fellow citizens. And the warden said, nope, I'm sorry, that won't do. We only have felons here, and as such, they've lost their citizenship rights. And he says, oh, well then, I'll say, fellow New Yorkers. And the warden says, nope, that won't do either. We have a lot of out-of-towners here. And he goes, So Governor Sherman gets to the area to address the inmates, and he says, I'm so glad to see so many of you here, and I'm so glad to see so many of you here. Thank you. Let's see. Thanks, Zion. Much appreciated. Thanks for the subscription. Okay. Ooh. Okay. You're as good as felons to me. take that for what you will. Skyward bound. Man, that is just getting in the way. Okay, mouse over here. So I'm going to have a new YouTube video on Saturday, and another one following on Monday. Game reviews, to be specific. But you guys should definitely make the time to check them out. They'll be relatively short, both of them, but worth looking at if you're at all interested in the Android games. Oh, there's a wolf emote! That's awesome! You see, I did not know. I haven't really participated in YouTube chatting much at all. So, because my blade's a little on the big side, I don't want to... I mean, it's sharp, but it's large, so I'm kind of approaching it from both sides here, so that I don't wind up cutting into the other side. And I'll have to clean up this edge a little bit here, but we can do that later. Now this, I learned from from this rough cut here, that I need it to come in about 45 degrees. So yeah. So we'll do it. We'll do it like that. So anyway, I'm debating a little bit. It would naturally be easier for me to come from the other side and flay out rather than flay in, but you know what? The entire point of this stream is to have a good time and to try some new stuff. So I'm going to do it the other way. I'm going to come in. So let me just sort of give a demonstration. This is how it is currently, and I'm going to come at it like so, while holding right here 45 degrees or so, like that, and then hopefully at the end of it I will have dug deep enough that we'll wind up with something like that instead of something like that. So, let's give it a shot! Oh. Okay, how badly did I mess that up? You know, not too badly. Not too badly at all. Alright, so there we go. That piece is completed. Now, when we heat it up, this portion here is what's going to rest right here against my arm, allowing for more fluid motion, like so. If you'll notice like that, except it's going to be curved and flayed in, much like this one is, but it'll be a better thing. So, yeah. Now we're on to step 2. I'm just going to first get this out of the way and clean up some of the edges with the knife here. So, I was playing Mega Man Collection, the Mega Man Anniversary Collection, Legacy Collection the other day. I won't lie, I was a little disappointed, because I kind of felt like there were a few little gimmicks, but for the most part they didn't do what I thought that they should have done, and that is make something that was going to be good for running, or better for running, with less, lag for real-time attempts. So, but oh well. We'll see how it goes. And I could have sworn that that some of their people, that some of Capcom's people at E3 had mentioned that there would be decreased lag, but the lag seems to be about the same, with the disadvantage of actually having a different input lag from the previous versions. So, yeah. All right. So now what we know what we're going for with this thing. Oh, thanks for the host, Triple L. Let's see when the Twitch alert comes up. You know, I'm gonna give this another sharpen. Hopefully the Twitch alert does come up. Well, now it's got me curious. What's wrong with this Twitch alert? I don't know. Maybe people have subscribed since or have followed since I went live. How would I even know at this point? Nope. Well, I mean, at least not according to my emails. So, I guess that's fine. But I thought I had that sorted. You know what I mean? Alright, well, you know what? You still deserve a, Oh, sorry, wrong one. We want the host alert. There we go. 56 viewers. I wish. So there we go. There's the notification. You earned it. Alright. So now that we've got that done... Oh, hey, DJ! Good to see ya. And yes, you should subscribe. On YouTube, if nothing else. You didn't want one, though? What are you talking about? You didn't want one, Triple L? Of course you wanted one. She's a heavyweight. Okay, now I am going to keep these ridges, and I'm also going to add some additional stuff to it. So, DJ, in case you didn't know, we're hosting, or we're streaming simultaneously on both Twitch as well as YouTube. So if I, Yep. So, if you see me talking to people who aren't actually chatting, that's why. I wonder if she's a heavyweight. That she can tear away. Yeah, that's actually a really good thing for me to show you. Let me actually grab something real quick. Okay, so this piece is for, this is a little bit different. This has been plastadipped. So it's made out of the same material as this, but I actually made this for Mrs. The Maction, and then plastadipped it. it gives it this this plastic coating around it that you then paint on top of. Serves as a good base for painting, and gives it more of a metallic look than this would, even when being painted. So yes, everything that we do is going to be Plast-dipped and then painted. So yeah, this is going to wind up being an expensive project. Oh, what did I do that for? We want that up for comparison. This is going to be an expensive project. It is, but it is one of those things where it's been on my mind. There are two things that have kind of been on my mind for ages that I've wanted to do for quite some time. One is to do this, to do a good version of the Mega Man. Yeah, let's do that. To do a good version of Mega Man. Another has long been to do to fix the problems with the New Line Cinema film Dungeons and Dragons, and fix the problems with that movie. But you know, we'll see. I'll probably never complete either, but you know, I can dream, can't I? Hi, darling. She's got her headphones in. She can't hear me. But everybody can say hi to Mrs. Mac, I hope. Let's see. I'm thinking about maybe starting streaming, Mac. What do you think? I think, yeah, if you feel like doing it, you think you'll enjoy it, then you should. You know, I won't lie, there are days where my resolve to do certain things, like stream, really wanes, and those are the days where I'm really happy that my live streaming is merely just a hobby and not anything. Can you imagine if, let's say you were someone, let's say you were something like Rhett and Link from Good Mythical Morning, right? Can you imagine what it'd be like when, if, you know, let's say both of them had a really bad day, or had like a really bad week, and didn't particularly want to be on. They didn't want to be a YouTube presence. You know, they just kind of wanted to be themselves, and, you know, and focus on IRL stuff. Can you imagine the type of pressure that must be? You know, that must make? The type of pressure to having to be on all the time, because that is your main method. You know, how quickly it would become, how quickly something that you love could turn into something that you just do. Yeah. Sorry, I'm just, you know, just sort of stream of consciousness talking about stuff while I do this. Okay, that looks alright. So, you believe you can do both? Maybe. Well, once she comes back into the room, I will tell her, I will extend to her your salutations. Okay. Almost there. Stay on target. Stay on target. Oh man, that's... Oh, yeah, these things are all basically that big. Oh, gosh, that's what I should have done. I should have just made them all just that thick. Would have been perfect. My opinion, this is why reviewers like JonTron are easier to make, even when they have a lot more editing. Yeah, I can see that. I think I should have referred to Lady Mac as cheese. What? Why? So I'm resting the lip of this protective sheath on the metal of the ruler itself. Darling, the people watching on the great wide internets issue their salutations. Let's see. 2 on YouTube, and as near as I can tell, 4 on Twitch. But yeah, by resting the sheath on the lip there, I'm able to get a consistent distance without having to rely on my hand or any other cue, because neither the metal lip of the ruler nor the metal of the protective sheath here are going to have any give under pressure. And because it's a wide dispersed area, the pounds per square inch are insufficient to compress with it. Oh, hi, Misty! I don't want no satisfaction, I just want to get some action. Thank you, Misty. It's very kind of you to say. How are you doing? How are things in Greece? They can always skip a day of recording or edit instead of record. Very true, Triple L. Very true. Oh, hi, Mark. Oh. So, Misty, I have to know, Tommy Wiseau, who plays in the room, is obviously not a native, not a contemporarily born American. Let's see. Doing good, chilling, playing Fallout. Things in Greece are ever worse. Sorry. I'm doing well. I watched GMM. GMM. I'm not sure what GMM is. Let's see. Yo, Twitch. Hey, Twitch. Hey, Triple L. Nice to see you on Twitch. It's the lime. Lens. You might take offense to that. Okay, let me check the angle on my cuts here. Okay, if we're talking 90 degrees there, we're looking at a cut that's a little bit more than 60 degrees, so probably 62 degrees. Okay, cool. That's what I thought. So about there-ish. Right? Yep, about 60 degrees. About 60 degrees. Okay. Good, good. There we go. Oh, good mythical morning. Sorry, I actually don't watch Good Mythical Morning, but a coworker does, and so I've seen it. But I do know that that Rhett and Link, you know, they're a big deal. They're a big deal on YouTube, and probably rightly so. I mean, a lot of the stuff they talk about I've heard of before. But, you know, I mean, that doesn't really diminish the fact that it's probably fun and interesting stuff. And yeah, but they seem like cool cats, and they seem to do stuff that makes a lot of people happy. So yeah, more power to them. I mean, they've got to be doing a lot of things right to command the type of audience that they do. What is it, like 7 million or something? I'm not especially thrilled about how this one turned out. I can already see where it's offset, but you know what? Let's hope that it does okay. Are kind of funny. I like the Will It Blank videos. Okay. Twitch and YouTube have the same delay. Cool, but Twitch seems about half a second faster. Okay. Now, there's one last thing to do. These will go right here. However, I need to make these cuts. And in the case of this one, I did not make the cuts. I did not make them go all the way through, just part way through. Is what I listened to before I found Cox and Crendor. Okay. Good question. I'm using EVA foam. Ooh, Yep, there we go. Down there. But, more specifically, they are floor mats. They are like this. They are about $10 US for a package of 4, and most people see them like this. They've got some texture to them, and they've got a flat side. I used some lower quality colored versions for making the for making the practice runs before I decided to live stream the process, and yeah. So I'm actually thinking I'm going to round this instead of leaving it entirely flat, because I think that'll probably look a little bit cooler. But I'm just going to sort of make a little rounded sketch here. Actually, we will use this so that we get a better thingamajig. Okay, let's do it like that. Nice. I want to make this design my own. Yes, I am going to paint it. Get tired of standing, and since we're also fat sitting down, so we had to make standing more comfortable. You're going to be wearing floor mats. Yep, I will be wearing floor mats. So yeah, anyway, if we make it round, and then round at the front, and, you know, I also think it'd be worth it to mirror that slope here on this one. And yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and make that cut now. Yep, this tip is getting dull. It's a shame. The road is for cars, not segways. Okay, hang on. I missed some fun chat. Let's see here. The stereo is being fat, though. How about those scooters? I hate them. Ride them in the road. The road is for cars, not there. Stereotypes. Nice link. Wow. Murica. Okay, cool. Alright. I wonder if this song is addressed to everybody. I've ridden segways before. They're quite fun. And it'll be fine because they can't be classified as pedestrian because they have an engine. The link is broken. There we go! You see, already it's looking much more, unique. Much more us. You can see all the cuts. Maybe you can't. It's probably for the best if you can't. But alright, so, what with this being the case, it's going to be set back to about right here. We need the last finger length, and we'll go for the first finger length. Well, we'll go for the first finger digit. Bam, to right there. Go a little bit farther. Yep. Alright, now time for this one. There we go. And the first finger length, going to put us right about there. Hot dogs stealing our jobs? Not shy with... Wow. Yeah, I believe it. I believe it. I don't believe YouTube has mods. It might. Let's actually find out. Let's see, can I... No, I can flag and report for... Oh, yep, I can make moderators. I'll tell you what, Triple L. If we get more than 5 people in the YouTube chat, you can get yourself a shiny little moderator badge for a limited time, and conditioned upon good behavior. Okay. That's about it. We've got our little incisions made here and here, and yeah. Let's see. Yeah, I do still do the Carlton, on good behavior. Oh, limited. Yeah. So yeah, I still do occasionally do the Carlton, but it's been so long since we've had a record that. Oh darn! I messed that up. Oh well, we'll make it work somehow. But oh well. Now, the next thing is that we're going to need to shape this. And now, in order to shape it, I'm going to need to find an extension cord so that I can bring the heat gun over here and heat it. I don't want it plugged into the same breaker as the computer or anything else, because I don't want to risk tripping any breakers, which means I need to run an extension cord from that side over to here so that I can heat it. Yes, indeed, it does need to be bent, and that's how we're going to bend it. All these pieces need to be bent to produce this type of a result. So give me just a moment while I search for an extension cord. Your sacrifice, Zine, is appreciated. See ya, DJ. I'm going to need to clean my fish tank soon, so I might leave randomly. Okay. So, I haven't been able to find it yet. I'm not even sure if I frankly have one, so this could get a little awkward. Abs is hosting with 68 viewers. 43 viewers. Whoa! Abs, thanks for the host. Abs, you're awesome. Now, we did find ourselves in just a little bit of an interesting position because it turns out that my computer is on one breaker. Hey Abs, good to see you, man. Since everybody's new, I'm going to run back through this just a little bit. What we're doing is we're trying to build that out of EVA foam. EVA foam is another term for this. And hello, everybody. This is a practice bit that I did earlier. And this practice bit, I've made some changes, some modifications. This is actually that. Now, I've based it off of the Mass Effect armor. You may be familiar with the armor that they wear in Mass Effect, so this might not be any news to you, but we're building this. Now, I did learn some lessons, specifically that instead of wanting these cut out bits here, that I wanted to make it normal and sort of sculpt it around, bend it around. However, what we're going, and then we've got these pieces on top. I opted for rounded pieces instead of square pieces down here. Now we're at the point where what we need to do is we need to heat this so that we can bend it and turn it into something resembling a gauntlet. Oh, thanks, Triple L. Yeah. If you want to watch on YouTube, feel free to watch there. You can also subscribe on YouTube. Definitely be much appreciated. But anyway, so what we need to do is we need to heat this up and bend it with my heat gun. Problem. I need an extension cord. Triple L's just has a desperate need for people to go watch it on YouTube because of my comment about mod status on YouTube if we got over a certain amount of viewers on YouTube. And it does have a lemon emote. Yes, indeed, Sir JJ. Yes, indeed. It looks like 3 up on YouTube. Anyway, so it's true, there is no kappa on YouTube. So anyway, what's going on is that I need that, but it's got one of these, a full grounded plug, and the only extension cord that I've got on that with 3 is actually being used at this very moment off of one breaker to run the computer. I'm concerned that if I plug this into the same breaker, that I'm going to trip the breaker, and bad things will happen. So I'm really, really hesitant to do that. Really, really hesitant. Hey Raz, how's it going? Good to see ya. Welcome to the stream. So that's the point where we just got when Abs was so gracious as to host at the end of his stream. And again, thanks, Abs. And who's this? Obi Jeff Kenobi. Obi Jeff Kenobi, welcome. And Wholesome X. We'll see how it goes. So, that's the question.
There's a time for words, and then there's a time for action.
Now, you may recognize that as the voice of Abs Nerdity himself, who said that. If you keep, well, it's not that I need glasses. It's that the thing over here is very small, very small. So...
I did not hit her. It's not true. It's bullshit. I did not hit her. I did not.
Oh, hi, Spice
Oh, hi,
Wolf.
Mark.
Welcome to the Maction Faction. Thank you very much for the follow. So anyway, that's where we're getting.
It's not true. It's bullshit. I did
Hugo
not hit
Platima.
her. I did not.
Thank you very much for the follow.
Oh,
Much
hi, Mark.
appreciated. And thanks again, Abs, for the host. So, that's the question. What do? Do we plug it in? Indeed, I know. Abs did sound really cool there. Darling, if you could do me a favor and keep your eye on the lookout for an extension cord. I'm really hesitant to plug it in here.
And then there's a
Thank
time
you,
for
Raz.
action.
But it's a little bit too far away. You know, it might... okay. I'm going to try something a little bit different. At this very moment. Oh, okay. Oh, cool. Well then, Wholesome X. Plug it in. Okay, Kappa. Thank you for the Kappa. Mrs. the Mac, I've enlisted her aid to try and find one. But so what I'm going to do in the meantime is I think I'm going to adjust the angle of the camera, and I'm actually going to plug it in over here so that I don't accidentally trip the breaker. So, give me just a moment. So, sorry about that. With intent, it isn't an accident. That's pretty dang good. So, anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try it from over here. I've adjusted, and this is one of the advantages of my new portable desk that actually has wheels. It's pretty easy to move these things around. So, anyway, yeah, let's do this thing. Alright, that's much better. So, let's see here. No, sadly I'm not going to Dragon Con. I am going to GameStop Expo. Sorry about the weird angle, but I am going to that. You have on your table? Sweet. By the way, these are some of the practice pieces, because it's always important to practice before you actually, start doing it for reals and live. So now I'm just rolling it to a sort of. I'm rolling it to a diameter smaller than what I need. And then we wait for a while, so that we can let it cool down. Yarn to make gauntlets and the heat gun. Ooh, yarn's not a bad call. Not a bad call at all, Kenobi. And so, now that I couldn't hear the music, so I didn't know if that was in time or not. So it has mostly, you'll notice it's a little bit off. So I'll heat it again, primarily focusing on this side, because this is the side that didn't bend in as far, and bending that in just a little bit. Then once I've got it bent, I'll, to the, sort of diameter that I want and need, I'll actually... and this bit will get clipped onto the sub base, the substrate itself, so that it stays relatively well. And then we'll use hot glue to glue it, and we'll only glue up about halfway because I've got really thick fingers, thick thumbs. Requests the gifts before leaving. Okay. Oh, see ya, Sir JJ. I hope you have a good dinner. Let's see. I'll make it once the stream is done. Then turn to watch Maction dancing. So let's see. I don't think this quite... Yeah, this reaches. Okay, so I could have kept this on the whole time. So, I'll talk about it a little bit. So, basically, I'm using the heat gun to heat up the stuff, the mat. I focus mainly on the inside because if I linger too long on the inside and burn it, then it doesn't really affect the overall aesthetic. A lot of sins will be covered up later with the Plastidip, but I try to ruin as little as I can beforehand. So yeah, and now that I'm heating it up, it's relaxing to its sort of most comfortable conformation, which is going to be wide. So it's gonna go wide again, which is fine, because I just want it pliable enough, which it'll soon be, very soon, especially because I'm just focusing on this one side. The transmission of heat through this is not as is not as much as you might otherwise expect. So let's turn that off, and you store it pointed up when you're not in use. Oh yeah, this is very, very pliable right now. What do we got here? Heat gun can really tilt this. Indeed, it can. Hey, Zach! Zach attack! No, it really doesn't. I mean, it can if you burn it. It'll smell like burnt plastic. But you know, my stuff doesn't heat up. Or doesn't smell when I heat it up. I could quite possibly be there. So, the plan is that, what we'll do with this is we'll actually attach these and attach it part way up, and then the last bit we will actually leave to be glued. But in my particular case, I know that my arms, if you look at my arms are actually, they're not really quite round, they're oblong. So that's why I'm going for a round-ish shape first, but then I will heat it up again when it's all, you know, glued and set together. I'll heat it up again with the heat gun on the inside, and then squish it so that it's oblong, and so that it fits my hand. And this last portion down here won't actually be glued. It'll be Velcro, or not Velcroed. It'll be elasticed, so that I can get my hand in, out, and still have it close around me, and make that stuff that we want to see. So the smooth surface, you can turn it into a leathery texture. Huh. Interesting. Okay. You know, I haven't really tried it that way before. Been sub to Lobos for like 10 months now. Oh, okay, so I guess you guys are using custom emotes from Lobos. That is very cool, very cool. But one thing I wanted to show you guys, and where did I put the scrap that I did it on? Here we go. I said that making the small incision would widen. So here are the incisions that I put on here. I'm just going to hit it. One was deeper. This one here was shallower, and this one's deeper. So to anybody who doesn't already know, I'm just going to, which it sounds like several of the people in the chat are well aware of how it works. Just going to make a few passes over this. And watch these things open up. So here you can see the difference between those two cuts. This was the shallower of the two, and this is the deeper. And once this thing has cooled down, it'll they'll stay like that. So yeah, makes for an interesting design, especially if you want to make like a crosshatch pattern. Master with EVA phone? Really? Help me, Master Kenobi. You're my only hope. This is actually the first time. I mean, I did my little practice bits, but aside from my practice bits, this is, my first time doing anything with EVA foam. You want me to dance, Triple L? Speedruns Dark Souls. Okay. All right. So we're going to do this a little bit more, and then I'll plug in the glue gun, and we'll get going with gluing this piece together. But this side now needs a little bit of work. The irony is not lost on me that I'm air conditioning my house and using a heat gun. I'll probably wind up heating the outside after I've got the areas glued together to give it that sort of leathery texture that Kenobi's talking about. Okay. So, if you get your face right next to it, it does smell a little bit. Just being honest. Oh, you said, sorry, Triple L, you said that in the YouTube chat, and I just noticed it. Make Halo, Thank you very much, Master Kenobi. Much appreciated. That's actually the Hooked on a Feeling from David Hasselhoff's thing. Super Scorch 99. Thank you very much. Much appreciate the follow. That's the sultry voice of Abs Nerdity greeting you. Used with permission, of course. He said that one day just sort of out of the blue during a stream. He was like, Maction, good to see you. There's a time for words, and then there's a time for Maction. And so I went back, captured it from the VOD, and then put it in there. So hence some of my sub emotes. So Muted Forever Kitten, hello and welcome. Let's see. You make Halo armor out of you. Also a member of the 405th, if you know who they are. I do know who the 405th are. I was notified of Mega Man, ran here right away. That's right. We are building this design right here. Out of EVA foam because it is time that Mega Man finally gets the treatment that he deserves as a serious item of or as a serious costume. He needs. It's the Mega Man we need. Oh. There we go. I do not want that thing falling down. So, alright, this is to the point where I think we can actually hot glue it. Now, I've done a couple of different ways. I've done barge cement, and I've done hot glue. I prefer hot glue. It's also the preferred method of Evil FX here on Twitch. Barge cement is what Evil Ted Smith on YouTube goes for, but I'm going to go with the hot glue method. So now I'm just going to rotate my my computer back to being pointed at the desk here. Okay, and I'll reposition the camera. Sorry for any of you who this is causing trouble. Okay, good. Yarg. All right. Wear this so bad. Well, we'll see what happens. Mega Man, clearly X. Duh. Not fancy. I notice. Hot glue all the time. Okay, good to know, Master Kenobi. Also, it's not Rockman even then since it's still... It's not Rockman even then since it's still Mega Man. So, okie doke. Now, earlier, the reason why this setup is a little... has its issues is because I didn't want to plug that high draw electrical item. I didn't want to plug it into the same breaker as I had the computer. So yeah, anyway, we'll just plug the hot glue gun in over here. Okay. And get it warming up. In the meantime, now that we're, doing that, I'll just set that under that to catch any excess. So we'll need to wait a second for the hot glue gun to catch up. Now, once I've got the slope sort of finalized on this, then and only then am I going to bend this one into conformation with the lower piece, and then we'll do the same for there. Oh, hey, Kame, good to see you. Yarp, narp, wholesome, good reference to Hot Fuzz. Elastic strapping and buckles, nice. Will this costume light up or not? I'm not entirely sure yet, Muted Forever Kitten. I'm doing well. I've measured the whole thing. Yes. Not misting, I'm confident about my size. I don't need to put a number on it. Ha 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 ha. Hardy har har har. Welcome back. Welcome back, Zine. While you were gone, Zine, we got an abs host, which is fantastic. So, basically, what we're looking at here with this is that I've based the whole thing off of Mass Effect armor done out of EVA foam, and I've just made modifications. Yeah, hardy har har. Oh well, hello to Raz's cat. So we based it off of the Mass Effect armor. I actually, the archived footage, this is being streamed to both YouTube and Twitch at the same time. And I used this prop codex made by Julian Beek, that's BEEK.NL/blog. And so it has instructions for how to take the armor, how to size it to yourself, how to adjust for the variants that will be introduced by the foam, and then how to print it all out onto pieces of paper. It recommends 16 plus foam tiles for the Mass Effect armor. I came prepared with 25, just in case I needed extras, and Harbor Freight, which is 50 miles away. But Harbor Freight is running a sale on these things, so I can go pick up some additional ones, if I so need. So, sorry, I'll glance back to chat, but just wanted to make that clear. I could say something really bad. Dr. Evil? Okay, let's see about this hot glue. Okay, let's see. On Mississippi. Okay, good. It's ready. No, the design is completely the design is completely free. So if you want it, you can pick it up there. In the archived footage that will be up on YouTube, I will actually include a link. So I'm learning as I go here. So forgive me if it's, if I make some rookie mistakes. But for example, this rookie mistake, if I'm going to make this match, I need to actually have a piece in here. Complete rookie mistake. And it'll glue probably, all the way down to right here is where I'll glue, and then we'll have elastic running on the inside of the band, nice and tight to make it fit tightly. So yeah, Mr. Bigglesworth jumped down. Yes, there are specific female sizes. And I'm not at the position where I would be making female armor, even though Mrs. Mac has requested that I make her some armor for Lin Beifong from The Legend of Korra. So my first task would definitely be to make Lin Beifong armor first. But I might try making some female Mass Effect armor for funsies some other time. But yeah, it does have a specific female design, because Mass Effect has female Shepard. So yeah, it's definitely something that exists and isn't tough. So let's see, let's increase the angle there a little bit. Okay, good. That's exactly what I needed. You give me just what I needed! really digging this suit building stream. Well, good. I intend on doing this each weekend. Between. Oh, that's on the music. I intend on doing this each weekend from now until Halloween. Hopefully by Halloween I will have finished it. But thanks. It's like watching Evil Ted Smith's tutorials, but better. Oh, thanks, Triple L. You know, I need to get better at engaging both the YouTube and the Twitch chat. So currently, I'm using the... And actually, earlier this week, I tweeted at Evil Ted Smith because I wanted his foam helmet, his sci-fi foam helmet. I wanted that design, but he's not currently selling the patterns on his site. And I tweeted at him and I was like, "Hey, what's any idea on when to expect the foam helmets to be available?" And he said next month, hopefully the beginning of next month, because his, just run-of-the-mill sci-fi helmet is going to be perfect for X. For X here. It's going to be fantastic. Just do a little bead. Give it a second to cool down. Just a second. And then let's... Now what's nice is that the natural curve that I've embedded is actually going to kind of hold this together. So I just, need to hold like so, and then the spring coefficient of K is good enough to do it. I'm just doing gosh, what's it called? No copyright sounds. It's just their house mix, because I would prefer not to get the archived footage on YouTube muted, because I understand that's something that's going on with the copyright system. And no copyright sounds is one that I've played a couple of times that I'm like, it's not my thing, but you know what? It's also not terrible. Okay, so now we've got this bottom part finally done. We'll put a little bead and go up to about there. Ooh, yeah. Somebody let the firefighters know that it's under the bridge where the fire is burning. Okay. A little warm. Oh, okay. So since wouldn't Monster Cat be plausible? Possibly. Hooray for mediocre. He might not know about it, but now he will. It's like my 1 hour bouncy music mix that I use all the game. Here's a crazy idea. If you make an interchangeable arm, you can use different colored arms and make common weapon props like Crash Bomb or Metal Blade. That is a fantastic idea. Let me actually jump ahead a little bit and tell you... Metal Blade is every sane person's choice. And let me tell you a little bit about what I've got planned for the right arm, for the Buster arm. This will be easiest to just show, so give me a second and get this, and get this cool enough that I can do it.
There's a time for words, and then there's a time for action.
Oh, Feinstun 03? Thank you very much for the follow. Much appreciated. Yeah. Okay. So here's the plan. Let me grab a piece of paper. Okay, Misty. It's good to see you. We'll see you next time. Let me grab a piece of paper. Some proper... Oh gosh, where's my engineering pad? I don't see my engineering pad. Let me just grab some graph paper. I've got that lying around. Okay, so here's the general idea. Unsafe. So here's what we're gonna do. Now you'll forgive my drawings because my drawings are terrible. It's pronounced Fine-F-Sun. 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 Finifson. 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 Okay. Thanks, Finifson03. Much appreciated. And Maction is how they say mine. So, here's the general idea. So we've got, I'll do my left hand just for... Yeah, we'll do it like that. But now I'm an idiot because I've drawn it too big. Beautiful. Okay, so basically, what we've got going on is we've got a hand. So I'm not artistically inclined. We've got a wrist, which is roughly 1.5 hand spans, or, there we go. And then we've got, we've got arm. All right, very, very, very spindly. Good. Finifson -03. It's underscore triple L. Action with costuming Ackington. Okay, so, what's going on is I'm not going to make a blaster as big as that one. Not quite. Instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to focus on a blaster that actually captures the essence of what X had going on. So, I'm making a curved, I'm making a curved blaster, round, kind of big like that. Kamehameha Duken. It fits. It's August, soon to be September. And so, the blaster will actually be in two pieces that will reside here on the forearm, like so. And then these two pieces, and I'll bring this closer, these two pieces will actually independently move around, like so, and they will move to cover the hand. So that way, when I have it, if I want to change it over to, I want to use my right hand, I just collapse the blaster down. So I'm going to bring that a little bit closer to the camera so that you can see kind of what I'm talking about. Now, of course, not to scale, but it'll go... And the pivot point is going to be just right here. So the blaster is going to just right in front of it. So the blaster is going to be big enough to pivot, and it'll pivot from the front there. This is the pivot point on the wrist. On the wrist, right here, the pivot point. And it will attach to the center of the blaster. of self inside of the rounded segment. So it goes from here to here, and so we know this point here has to pivot like so. Like so. Both things. Now, I will actually make it a little bit larger than that. It will take up almost my full forearm, so that when I rock it forward, it has some large clearance on it. And I'm still working at... Okay. Let's see. Seems good. Elo Devil costume's a good idea. Do that and I will battle you. Buster only, no damage. Awesome. But the reason, and like I said, the reason is because I think that, like, for example, in the later Mega Man X games, X had his hand, and he also had his blaster. Additionally, Zero also had his hand, and then he had that blaster, though it wasn't quite as cool. Creative streams, even knowing I never have any... Well, you know, Raz, that's how I felt until very recently. So be careful. Once it gets inside your skin, you can't get it out. So that's how the blaster goes. Now, I like where your head's at with making a sort of interchangeable thing, so that I could change it between that. But on the subject of art, I'll show you some art in a second. I am not an artist by any stretch of the imagination. Now, I want to get at that spot there. Okay, I probably damaged that a little bit. Yeah, but that's okay. Nobody's going to notice that bit on the underside of the armor. At least I hope they won't. But just a little bit, and then we can sort of we can just cut off the bits that we don't like. So, on the subject of art, while we're waiting for that to cool, Mega Man. Yeah, there we go. Cut Man. Elect Man. Iceman. Fireman. Bomb Man. Guts Man. Flash Man. Quick Man. Metal Man. Bubble Man. Heat Man. Woodman. Airman. And Crashman / Clashman, depending upon which version you're talking about. So, those are actually destined for my wall to put behind the computer, you know, up there, because I occasionally, if you watch any of my YouTube videos, every so often I do these things where I just do, like, talking to the camera, sort of in vlog styles from time to time, and when I do those, I like to have stuff on the background, and I saw those and fell in love with those. Now, I did not make those. I am nowhere near talented enough to have made those. You know what? Nope, I'm just gonna leave you be. The Real Skeleton Killman. Not much. We're just currently working on Mega Man armor made out of EVA foam. And so this is how it looks right now. Currently, that's pretty dang good, actually. You know, I'll make this part just a little flatter with the heat gun. Just call me Heat Man. And then I'll be ready to go. So actually, I think I don't know. That's pretty dang good. I'll probably shape this just a little bit more. Oh, thanks. We're trying to build that over there. We're getting there, piece by piece. This looks cool. I'm gonna.
We need some action.
Thank you. Woohoo! Thank you very much for the follow. Much appreciated. Much appreciated. I hope that you like the follow alert. Okay, cool, Triple O. Take your time. Okay, so sorry about being off screen. It's because I don't want to trip the breakers, the breakers in the house. I actually have to have this plugged in at the other side because I don't have sufficient cords, sufficient power cords. So yeah, anyway, I'll just tell you what I'm doing. And what I'm doing is I'm shaping this back bit up near the arm to make it a little bit more rounded on the sides and a little flatter at the top. I need it to be like that so that I can... ooh, yeah, that's good. That's good. That's exactly what I needed. Oh, you give me just what I needed. Okay. And now, just a little bit down here at the bottom to flex these things into a more oblong conformation. Oh, lingered there a little too long. Okay, I'll just turn that off. Okay. Alright, I'm back. Let's see. Yeah, I need the heavy duty. I will be doing it every weekend. This is my first time, aside from the practice runs that I did so that I wouldn't make a fool of myself. But I will be doing this every weekend from now until Halloween, or until I get this done. And after I get this done, I have to build my wife a suit for... She wants to be Lin Beifong for Halloween from The Legend of Korra. So, yeah. Yep, pretty much. Thanks, I'm glad that you like it. Oh, wait, that's a kappa? What are you talking about? It is a fantastic notification. It is, and you know what? When you're primed with that to the Maction faction, it sounds like, go, we need some action-maction. You know what I mean? It sounds a bit more fitting. So, okay, now that we've got it a little bit more situated, let's try it out. Okay, and this part will have, and there we go. That is, we're almost done, everybody. And once I get finished with this, it's your birthday? It's actually my brother-in-law's birthday as well, so congratulations. It sounds like a fantastic thing. What else do I do? Well, I have two somewhat different presences. My, on Twitch, I primarily play games. I play games on, I do Android games, so mobile. And on YouTube, I do Android news and reviews, reporting. So, like, for example, I'll be at GameStop Expo next week with, just reporting on the various gaming things, particularly how they relate to mobile development. But also, as a game player myself, someone who enjoys new games that are coming out. And, I play Dungeons & Dragons on Twitch with some friends from all over the world. Terry's in Israel, Richard's in Brisbane, Australia, and of course myself over here in the U.S., and Snow, who's in Kentucky. Yeah, so there's sort of two different spheres. There's the gaming stuff that I do on here, and the occasional creative stream. I've done creative streams before where I've taught people how to video edit, because I do a lot of that. And then, yeah, and then there's basically the Twitch and the YouTube. You may or may not like my my YouTube work based off of what you see on my Twitch work, but, it's there. So let's see. That was meant as a like. Oh, okay, the capital was meant as a like. Cool. GameStop Expo, what's that? You're in a game of Pathfinder right now. Cool. It's true. I don't play Dungeons and Dragons. I say Dungeons and Dragons because to somebody who doesn't play tabletop RPGs, everything is Dungeons and Dragons. They don't know what Pathfinder is, they don't know, whatever, but they're familiar enough to know what Dungeons and Dragons is. GURPS is the generic universal role-playing system. I like that because it's just very, very easy to go from one system, one thing, to another. For example, I'm using the same rulebooks and the same stuff with just a little bit of tweaks to go from the fantasy setting that we're playing right now to the Avatar The Last Airbender setting that we're starting up maybe in about another month or so. It depends on when we can all get together again. People on opposite sides of the planet makes for some small difficulty in arranging schedules, as I'm sure you can imagine. Just going to make sure that hot glue is properly distributed around that scene. Oh, give me just a moment.
As I wake up every morning, I wish the day would end.
Okay, I have returned. Let's see, what did I miss? No one to play with locally anymore. The problem that I ran into was that locally, the only people who I really could play with were people that everybody was military. Everybody was some form of military, and sadly, they were all much too disrespectful of not only women in general, but also of my wife. That I just couldn't do it anymore. I mean, there's only so long that you can just sit back and let somebody, let that kind of stuff slide off your back when you're just like, you're a huge knob. This is your punishment. Your punishment for being a jerk is that you don't get friends anymore. That's pretty much it. So yeah. Anyway, so now I do online with people who I like a lot more. So yeah. Yes with an if, no with a but. Yes if I still have a mod around. Let's see. I don't think I have. Maybe Kame's here. I'm just gonna check real quick. Man, we've got a good one. All right, so Kane and Kame are here. So yes, you are welcome to put a link. I'll ask one of my mods to have a look. Permission to kick their butts, sir. Permission granted. Permission granted. Muted kitten. But it's just really hard because there's a certain extent to which you kind of feel like somebody can. You feel like the reason why they're such terrible people sometimes is because that kind of stuff, that kind of behavior is okay in military circles. So the problem is that what they really need is they need civilian circles. They need civilian people to tell them no. But at the same time, there's only so long that you can be the civilian who says, guys, this isn't cool. This is damaging. You cannot blame this person for that. And additionally, no, I'm sorry. I'm getting way too personal here. But let's just say that it was problematic. Thanks to Twitch, I met some friends, some like-minded people who wanted to game, and they didn't want to be huge knobs, and so yeah. So that's how we do it now. Okay. Getting close. Okay, almost ready. Now, I know you can't see it, but one of the things that's important is that you keep moving your heat gun. If it stays too long on any one point, it is going to burn the foam. And now I'll shape it against my water thing. It's an online service that gives you a virtual. Oh, are you talking about Roll20? Because I use Roll20. Yeah, feel free. Roll20.net. It's a fantastic service. We use it every Friday night. Oh man, that's tonight. Oh, awesome. I hope everybody's got the time to do it. Yep, Roll20.net. On Fridays, sometimes at a local shop now instead. Okay, so, that is perfect. That is perfecto. Oh yeah, and so in a minute I'm going to go over this with the heat gun. Gaming Friday today. Yeah, we're doing it tonight, 10 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, so that's in 6 hours, 5 hours or so? Yeah, it's a little under 5 hours from now. And yeah, we'll be streaming it unless something comes up, which I don't suspect it will. But anyway, so there's our curve. If given the opportunity, I'll form something against another object, if at all possible. It's one of the reasons why I got such a good result on this one, was because I had a bottle to roll it against. Is that to me? Chess Mondays. Love to learn how to play. If that's a question for me, you're more than welcome to ask. And I'm actually going to wait till I have everything glued together before I open up those pores on the outside. One of the things that's interesting is that if you're willing to heat from both sides, you can get the whole of the foam more pliable faster, I should say. But if, like me, you're only heating one side, it takes many more passes to get the pliability that you want. But once it starts bending in your hands under its own weight, that's when you know that you are in good shape. Oh, this one's gonna be hard because it's so small, so thin. But let's try it. Nope, that's not gonna work. Okay, going to have to bend it. No, just the slightest curved is all that this is gonna get. Alright, let's see. The streamer action. I'm in the western United States. What is Roll20 for? Roll20 is for playing tabletop RPGs online. Yeah, you got it. And an unlimited amount of dice. Yeah, D&D tabletop RPGs. It even allows you to make custom sheets. Indeed, it is for free, and you can get extra stuff if you pay. Like you can get things like dynamic lighting. Okay, that's the ticket. We are almost ready for the hot glue. All right, now I'm going to take a chance. Normally, I would use a Dremel tool and Dremel this off so that I had raw foam to work with. Raw foam on raw foam. However, in this particular instance, I think I'm going to forego that and just use straight hot glue, underside to here. Mostly because I don't want to make a mess today. And if it does wind up not working out, then I won't feel so bad about, getting the place dirty. So here we go, and this is how it's going to look when it's all glued together. And this is the offhand. This is not the blaster hand. This is the offhand. The buster hand is going to be the right hand. I will get it on my phone, which is what I'm using. Okay. Pencils I bought are like, made in America! American pencils! USA! Gold! Gold! It's gold, Jerry! Gold! Okay. Let's see. I think that's what we want. I'm just going to make a couple of marks here. Oh yeah, so much bragging on the box. I love how they brag on the box. Okay. Now, sadly, Kenobi's not here. To prevent me from making a terrible mistake. If, in fact, this was going to be one. So, America's Pencil trademark. They trademarked America's Pencil. Yikes! That's full of bravado. Bravado? That might not be the right term. Probably made in Lewisburg, Tennessee. Yeah? Oh. Bugger. I'm actually not very nationalistic. I enjoy some things about America, but there are a lot of things I don't particularly enjoy about America. And yeah, Yeah, well, that pretty much says it all. So, okay. Let's do this. Let's do it. Okay. And now that accidentally closed the Twitch app. No worries, welcome back. Flag yellow. Found that sold in 48. Canada's pretty big, patriotic too. They just don't brag. I'm from a very patriotic Polish family. A Polish lemon family. My family is quite a bit more patriotic than I am. I don't feel like America has done anything particularly good for me, aside from, it's one of those things where it's just like, congratulations, you're not actively murdering people because they're the wrong, whatever, anymore. But really, is the measure of a good country, or of a country you should be proud in, the fact that, well, they're not actively doing terrible things to you. So, that's there. Well, the United States is my country. So, yeah. Although, if we're talking about the Maction faction is awesome. Alrighty, so there's that. I'll put this on the other arm just for comparison's sake. And this will be held closed by that elastic. Oh, you're also on the West Coast. I'm not on the West Coast. I am in the Western United States. However, now you don't have to take this as a challenge, but in my capacity as a news reporter, my details are fairly readily available. With just some cursory research. So, I'm confident that in 5 minutes flat, even going no farther than a Google search, you could probably find the state that I live in. And I don't discourage that search. You're more than welcome to do so. Let's see. Florida for a couple years. If I join a game with you guys, you'll have to teach me how to play. But our family moved to Canada. Lived in Illinois, so it's too cold here. Now let's just put some pressure on this to make sure it sets up well. Illinois. Ooh. Chicago. It's the Chicago way. Okay, and now on the other side. On the east coast, but on the on the west coast of Florida. I see. I'm terribly observant. You know, that one... You know, that seems to be alright. Alright, so now we're going to open the pores. So go ahead and take a nice good look at it as it is. It's going to change just a little bit. First I'll take a sip of water. Didn't live in Chicago, though. Okay, Florida's weird. Alright, and there it is. Sorry, did I say Florida? I meant California. It's all good, kitten. From California, moving to county, going from regular 80s to 20s. Yikes. Alright, muted forever, kitten. I'll give you a hint. I almost went to high school in a at a high school where the mascot was a monsoon. That's a hint. That may or may not mean anything to you, but if it does, we could share that moment of connection. I would be able to find where he lives if I had his last name, he being Maction. Skeleton. You can actually find the state I am just by searching my handle, because it's the same handle that I use in my capacity as a news reporter. And the outlets for which I use that news, they have staff pages and things like that where they include the state where I live. A little bit of additional searching might reveal the city, perhaps, and so on and so forth. But yeah, there it is. It's a little imperfect, I won't lie, but I like it. I like how it looks. And I like how tight it is on my hand. I might actually trim this back just a touch to give me some more room, and I might trim this back a little bit, but it's not too shabby. So yeah, that's how we build the offhand. Yes, I know, Maction is and Maction is also the name of a minor league wrestling team. I think minor league wrestling team or semi-pro or something like that. Anyway, so if you search Maction on YouTube, for example, you will find me, and you will find Team Maction. But actually, Carlos Santana is the one who gave me that nickname. So who cares if it's in the Urban Dictionary? Carlos Santana gave it to me. Similar to the term action, but in a more juvenile sense. It means a certain amount of making out. So they tell me. So alright, now I would carry on, however I do need to get ready for our GURPS game this evening. But this is a good start. And I may continue this tomorrow, making the next piece. I still need a little bit of time to properly engineer the blaster, but I think I'll probably be starting on that next. So if you're at all interested in watching the Mega Buster being built that, yes, Carlos Santana, Triple L, that if you're at all interested in seeing that being built, I'll be doing that tomorrow. I will very likely be doing it from beginning to end. That is to say, I need, since nothing else has this design, I have to make it from scratch. So, let me give you an example. No, that doesn't work. I need a rounded object. Hang on, just looking. There we go, found something. Give me just a second, be right back.
There's a time for words, and then there's a time for action.
Oh, thank you very much, X Viper. Much appreciated. Thank you for the follow. So what we have here naturally is we have a ball. Let's see. Did you almost go to Valley Vista High School? I did not, but actually, I did not almost go to high school in the same state where I currently reside. So, anyway, we've got this ball, right? And this is just going to be a preview of what sort of thing's going to go on. But, how are we going to translate that into a flat object? What we're going to do is we're basically going to wrap it.
There's a time for words, and then there's a time for action.
Thanks for the follow. Muted Forever Kitten. I didn't realize you hadn't already followed, so thanks. So alright, so to make this spherical thing in a flat thing, because we have to translate it to a flat thing, right? So we would take a sheet of something a little bit more pliable than this paper, and we would fold it up around it. And then what we'd do is we'd actually, I might be able to do this. Hang on, I'll need to grab the duct tape from off the shelf, force it into the shape. Give it just a second. Okay, we're gonna do this using the handyman secret weapon, duct tape. Let's see. Not Santes. Santana. Carlos Santana. I missed what he said about saying I would need to be taught how to play. Oh, at the moment, Kentucky. At the moment, I'm not taking on new players to our Friday game, but I would certainly keep you in mind for a future game. So let's see here. Just need handyman secret weapon, duct tape. I love the red-green show. As a matter of fact, when I'm having a long day, a stressful day, I like to listen to the red-green show to help me fall asleep. I say that slightly tongue-in-cheek because Mrs. Mac, she's the one who usually needs help going to sleep. If I have trouble going to sleep, and she's going to be watching this later, of course, when I need to go to sleep, I just meditate instead, and then I can get all of my processes slowed down enough that sleep comes easily. All right. So what we'd do is we'd probably take something like tinfoil, right, as the substrate. As text. Oh no, duct tape. So we would take this. We would probably take aluminum foil instead, because that's a little bit easier to cut. And so to make the rounded thing and to transform it into a two-dimensional shape, we then cut it, and it's a little harder to cut the paper than it would be to cut the aluminum foil, which is why I'm like, I should have used aluminum foil. But the duct tape is there to grant strength, right? And you may be familiar with this. This is the same type of thing that they would do to make a stable conformation for a globe. Well, so now that we can open it up enough to actually get the ball out of there. Yep, thank you. Creating a character, yeah, creating a character does take a while. Have one, make sure to plan to play at least a week in advance. Yep. So, now that we've got that, we'd actually take it, and this is the general flow of steps that I'll follow for making the Buster. And we do something like this, and then something like... Ooh, don't want to cut myself, but there's a lot of paper. And again, this is why I would use aluminum foil. And then what we would do is we would basically make these cuts. Ooh. Until we were able to lay the whole thing flat, like so. And so it's the same general idea. If you've seen a globe before, when you're looking at a globe, it's representing more or less a sphere, and there are representations of the globe that kind of look a little bit like that. Except for they're like all stretched and they've got the round thing. But what happens is that we would then take this and we would trace that design onto the EVA foam, and then we would heat them up and bend them so that they would fit together, like so, and then like so, and then like so on and so on and so on until we get it bent into the shape of a sphere. And that's what we're going to do next time. I'm going to find something to make the arch, the thing that I want, the thing for the blaster that I want. Oh, thanks, Triple L. I love you as well. Going to bend this into the shape of the round and then we're going to put some tinfoil over it. We're going to use some duct tape to give it structure beyond just the tinfoil so that it doesn't break apart. And then we're going to cut it so that we can make it lie flat, more or less. And then we'll trace that onto some EVA foam, and then turn it into our blaster pieces. And that's what we'll do next time. Again, I'm not entirely certain if next time's going to be tomorrow, or if it's going to be next week. But if it is tomorrow, then yeah, it's a good thing you guys have followed, because otherwise you wouldn't know. So yeah, now let's see, where was I? This doesn't, right, I did one campaign as GM once. Went into that. Oh no, this is just a straight edge. This is a laundry ball. It's supposed to replace the need for dryer sheets in the dryer, but it doesn't work all that well. So yeah, sorry about that. But okay, so just by way of recap, for anybody, awesome, glad to hear it. And lastly, of course, by way of re-emphasis, what I've done is I've taken the basic design pieces of the Mass Effect armor, which are available for free, and I'll be sure that there's a link to that. But it's available for free. I sized them for me using GIMP and Photoshop. You could use either or. And then I took the design and made adjustments to it, made changes that was necessary as per my experience making a practice run. I didn't like square, so I wanted to go for round. I like the look of it better. I wanted to fill this out instead of having it be open on the underside. And this, all together, has led to the experience of going for hot glue instead of barge cement. And then last but most certainly not least, we've got the plan for next time when we're going to be working on the other arm, with a very small caveat that if it turns out that I still need to work out some engineering solutions for the blaster, then I might put off building the blaster until I get those things settled, because this whole project is about making, finally, a Mega Man costume that is worthy of the Legend of X, that's worthy of Mega Man, that's not this weird sort of cosplay that's all big and gangly and looks cartoony. No, we want this. We want something that looks like what X would actually wear. We want something more like this, something that looks more practical. I'll be adding bas-relief items to this as time goes, but that's everything. So if you guys have any questions, hit me in the chat right now as I'm just sort of doing a little bit of cleanup, and I'll answer them. Within reason, of course. But hit me up with your questions over the next couple minutes, and I'll answer questions. Storm Eagle cosplay. I don't know if I've seen that before. Are you also going to make other items, like an energy tank? You know, I had considered making an E-tank. I'm not entirely sure if I'll follow through on that, though. Primarily because I don't have quite the same passion for the E-tank as I do for... I don't have quite the same passion for that as I do for some of the other items, like just in general the armor. But I think I could be persuaded to do an energy tank. It wouldn't be all that hard. It would basically just be a round thing. The hardest part of the energy tank would be the painting it. So I may very well go that route. I do not have a pet dog. I do not actually have any pets. But yeah. So keep the questions coming while I'm wrapping up. Next Wednesday, I will be at GameStop Expo. It tries to be a mini E3 put on by GameStop. With my good friend and fellow streamer, Mr. Nice Guy 425. He 425 because the man's from Seattle. Yeah. So we'll be down there at GameStop Expo in case anybody is in Las Vegas and wants to get together. Tweet and so on. If anybody feels so inclined, I do, because YouTube revenue and no Twitch sharing and things like that, is the case, I do have a Patreon account in case anybody wants to help support me there. Pretty simple, shoot me $1 once a month, and yeah, you get some stuff, including some patron-only live streams where I do some fun stuff that doesn't get archived, and that if you're not part of that crowd, you'll never know about. So let's see. There are questions in YouTube. Oh, I'm sorry, Triple O. I moved off of that. Oh, hey. Yes. Sorry, Warshawn. I am actually going to be able to wear the suit. Where's that? That suit's what it's going to be. Will it have any functionality? That's a good question. Let me just show you what I'm planning on lights at the moment. Let me just move this for a second. At the current moment, I'm planning electroluminescent wire blue electroluminescent wire as highlights on the suit itself. So it should have lights. The thing that I'm considering at the moment, let's see. Yeah. So I'm a tablet ROMs, Droid forums, and Android tablets. Those 3 websites. I'm a news reporter for them. I go to CES, the Consumer Electronics Show, each year. A couple years back, went to E3. Didn't go this year. And went to GameStop Expo a couple years ago. Going again next week because they're in Las Vegas once again. So yeah, Warshawn. Yeah, Warshawn, that's how it's said. So there will be some lights. The thing I'm debating is I might do this. This is the Nerf Rival Zeus. It shoots these yellow pellets, much like original Mega Man shot his pellets. And the mechanism's rather simple. It's just a couple of flywheels in here, battery powered. I'm considering, and it probably won't happen, so don't get your hopes too high up, but on this arm it'll be a 2-part buster. The top part might have these 2 flywheels integrated and have a small clip coming off of the back that I will very likely stylize. And then so, it may in fact have a functional buster. But the 2 things that I'm concerned about right now, yes, I shot that past you, it bounced off the wall, bounced back, landed on the couch. And that wasn't even at full speed. The thing I'm worried about is that I really like my gun there. I'm not sure I can bring myself to disassemble it. That's what I'm worried about. Hey, Joel, how's it going? Okay, good. So yeah, that's it. And, Skeleton, yes, you are correct. The lights, you gave me an interchangeable item. You can light up the lights according to the weapon of choice, too. I know I'm asking a lot, but this project's so amazing, I just have to give my 2 cents. No worries, I completely understand, and I appreciate it. The problem is multicolored electroluminescent wire is tough, and by tough I mean non-existent. As far as I'm aware. For example, Corning, the people who make glass beakers and Gorilla Glass, they have a type of filament that you can shine any light through, and it's basically a fiber optic style, but it'll light the whole way up. And I got a chance to get my hands on some at CES this last year, but the problem is the amount that I have is so little that it could never work. It's just like about an inch long, and I'm not exactly sure where it is at the moment. Granted, that's the stuff that I would use if I had enough of it, but it is mondo expensive. I mean, prohibitively expensive in the robot military. What? So Corning, they made Road Trip Through All of Utah now. You should. Utah is beautiful. It's absolutely gorgeous. As a matter of fact, one of the things that I intend on doing just as an experiment is I'm going to take a road trip, just a one-day, a camping trip, with an action camera, recording every minute of it, and then playing it on stream, because I think there are people who don't really get out that much, because they're in cities. If I was in a city, I would love to see the countryside, But that's just weird. So, Corning. So, yes, it's a, if you check, I believe, if you Google Corning, and you Google CES 2015, and you also add in your search terms, probably multicolored thread, or EL, even if you just add EL wire, it's very, very expensive, though, and I'm not a rich man. But if I were a rich man, a now my keyboard's quite a distance away, so I'm not going to type it in. But those are the search terms that I would use when Googling it, and you should be able to find it. But yeah, the idea of it is that it's basically like a fiber optic cable, but the transmission ratio through it and the dissipation ratio along it is such that any light shined in will appear to light up, just like an EL wire. Oh, that's right, I don't have any batteries in there right now. Sorry. Sorry about that. But would appear to light up like electroluminescent wire. However, it doesn't require any inverter. It's just using it sheerly, essentially through trick of refraction. Is it refraction or reflection? It's probably both. Never been out of state for longer than 3 days at a summer camp. Ooh, that is a shame. There's the next time I have to do a sort of thing where I have to cut the where I have to bounce out to something, I'll have a bunch of videos that you can check out, that you can watch. Some of my fun videos, like travels a family motorcycle trip. I do it every year with my father and my mother and and sometimes some of my siblings. But you would love to find some of that. I know, and that's one of the things. For a while, I considered using Lumicord. They had a Kickstarter a while back, and it was cool stuff because it was basically a glow-in-the-dark thing. You charge it up under UV light or under the sun for 5 minutes, and it glows fairly brightly for 6 hours. But the problem, and it came in different colors, but the problem is that they discontinued it. I really had my hopes on getting some for this project, especially when I found out that their base of operations was just, I don't know, an hour down the road from my grandparents' farm in the state of Washington. And as it so happened, I had plans to go there and get some in person, but sadly, didn't work out. And they're not still making it, which is a darn shame. I'm about to get your 8th sibling. Wow, that... Congratulations on the 8th sibling. That's crazy. With that many children in one family, people'd think you're from Utah. So, alright. Well, thanks everybody who came around. Thanks to those who showed up on YouTube. Many thanks to you. For those of you who came around on Twitch, new faces, friendly faces, funny faces, I much appreciate it. So, I'll catch you next time, which will probably be tomorrow. Barring any craziness, we'll see you tomorrow. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and stop this house mix here, and instead we'll do that. Thank you. Thanks, Wholesome X. And you guys, everybody here is, feel free to come back anytime. I try and be on Twitch a lot and bounce around to other people's channels, so you'll probably see me in people like Ab's Nerdity's channel and things like that. So anyway, in the meantime, though, among Mega Man being one of my favorites, when I was younger, people called my father Big Mac, and they called me Little Mac, so I'm really inclined towards Little Mac. So here's the outro just for you guys. I don't think it'll be any louder than my microphone's been, so you should probably be just fine for the time being. So, Warshawn, have a good day. Raz, Wholesome, Skeleton, and if Kitten's around,